Hi everybody. We're a couple minutes late. Forgive us. It's been a little bit of a weird day here at Sage Goddess as we have prepared to go live with you, but I have tea. I hope you have tea too, so that we can have a little tea together. And then the only other thing you need for this class, and this is technically a class, this is a bonus. So if you're new to GemWise, first of all, and you haven't seen me live, I want to welcome you and say, I'm really glad you're here. Hi everybody. Hi Pamela. Pamela, you've been on my mind today. I don't know why, but you've been in my feed a lot today, and I've been thinking about you. So I hope that you know that. Sending you a lot of love across the miles. So if you have the bonus set, which was the silver in your little jar. Hi Jill. Hi Jackie. It's good to see you guys. It's the silver in the little jar, and Karina's there, and Tammy. It's so good to see you. Your garnet, and then your spinel. So if you want to have the exact things I'm talking about tonight, those are the three that you want to have with you. If you don't have it, it's okay. I think you'll still enjoy it. I have a lot to talk to you about. Hi Lauren, hi Lisa, hi Teresa, and Debbie, and Carmen. I'm so happy to see you guys. I also have a really fun giveaway. So I'm going to try, every time I do these bonus sessions, I'm going to try to do some kind of fun giveaway that's tied to the session. Are you ready? So I bought this when I was in Tucson because I knew we were going to be doing a little bonus session talking about silver and garnet and some of my favorite things, and I found this necklace, which is sterling silver, Mexican sterling silver, which is the best of the best of the best. And it has a tiger's eye moon with two little garnet crescents on either side. Isn't that beautiful? Hi, you guys. So I'm going to give this to one of you tonight, and it'll just be a sweet reminder of our little magical session together. Now he told me, and I can kind of see it. So whoever wins this, you'll be able to tell me if you see it. There's actually meteorite inlaid here. Do you see those two little triangles of silver? That's meteorite. So this pendant is worth about $200. It's a really beautiful pendant, especially because of the tiger's eye carved moon and then the meteorite insert. So I'm excited to give it to one of you. I think it'll be really good magic for you. The tiger's eye is protection, the garnet is grounding and protection, and then silver, we're going to talk about silver, the metaphysical properties of silver tonight, and then meteorite is about spiritual connection and astral travel. So that's kind of a fun combination. I'm so glad you guys are excited. And then I have a really special giveaway planned for the end of the month in GemWise. Can I show you? For our formal class session. I'm giving away one of these wizards with the crystal balls. How cool is that? And I chose this wizard because he's actually self-healed. I'm going to be teaching you a lot about different quartz formations this year, but self-healed happens when the quartz breaks in its own growth process and it heals itself. And so this guy is going to be given away at our next GemWise class. So you have fun things to look forward to. I hope every time there's a class you look forward to not just the giveaways, but what you're going to learn too. So I'm going to start by, as we always do with our little class sessions, I'm going to light my charcoal and just get that going. Love using my torch because it's just faster and easier to get that going. And then burning just a little bit of our ceremonial incense. Isn't it fun? Ritual is really important, and part of the reason I do what I do, and I do the same things every time, is I think the process of ritual is significant. Ritual really is defined as anything you do on a regular basis. So breakfast can be a ritual for you. Taking a shower can be a ritual for you. In magical terms, ritual is really the idea of raising and using energy for a specific purpose. But truly, anything that you do on a regular basis is a ritual. And they say that once you do something 7 times, you make it a habit. So it goes beyond just, oh, that was fun, to, oh, I want to do this all the time. And so what I recommend that you do is, if you're trying to incorporate something into your practice, like smudging or doing nice deep breathing or yoga or exercise or anything else, is just get yourself to do it 7 times. By the time you've done it the 7th time, you will, it'll be much easier for you. You won't have to think about it quite so much. So I'm so glad you guys made it. Wonderful. So yeah, so if you have your incense, burn your incense too. What I love is that we're smelling the same thing. I'm also going to burn a little white sage just to clear some energy, because as we get closer to the full moon, every month, not just today, but every month, the energies are a little more inconsistent. and a little stronger, sometimes a little harder to manage. So I just like to clear out any of those stuck low vibrations with a little white sage. So I'm gonna send a little bit over to you. So good to see you guys. Yeah, Jessica says she smudges every day, and I highly recommend that. There's no reason not to. I mean, if you don't mind the smell of sage, you should smudge your space every day. It's just, for me, it's so much a part of my life, and it's so much a part of my peace that I don't have to think about it anymore. But again, if you want to get to that point, just do it 7 times. Do it every day for 7 days. You'll be amazed at how you actually develop a habit, and what I think is a very positive habit too. And then I'm just going to use my selenite wand to go ahead and open a beautiful circle of energy around us, which just creates a container for us to have this experience together. So I love that too. And that is everything you need to do to open a beautiful sacred space. Brittany said she burned white sage for the first time the other day and she loved it. It's so good. And you're very welcome, Shelly. She was saying thank you for the bonus session. The bonus sessions are designed to be like additional information that I really want you to have. So I'm only going to do it when I feel really called to do it, but I can tell you I already have 7 or 8 ideas for bonus sessions for 2017. So we're at least going to have 1 extra session every month, all the way up until probably at least August. And one of them that's going to be coming up is on Lemuria. And I was in the group today asking you guys what was on your mind, and guess what was on your mind? Lemuria. And I don't blame you. Lemurian quartz is a subject of great fascination and interest. I'm just showing you a couple of pieces. These were the phantom Lemurians that I had at Sage Goddess not that long ago. If you got one, you're a lucky duck. I don't have any more of these now, but it was very rare to find white phantom Lemurians. But Lemurians are characterized by these lines that you can see there. Do you see them right there? They're called the Stairway to Heaven. So I'm going to teach you about how to work with Lemurian quartz to decode the mysteries and the medicine and the wisdom that it holds for you. Because as the story goes, you don't choose Lemurian quartz, it chooses you. Have you heard this? And so if you feel really, really drawn to a piece of Lemurian quartz, or like if I send you one, I'm using your energy to sense the piece that you need right now. I'll tell you, we have some Lemurian quartz generators coming up in the shop in a couple of days. So if you don't have any Lemurian quartz, you might want to save your pennies for one of those. So we'll talk about all of that. You guys are so welcome. This is my pleasure. I love talking to you about stones. And the ones we're talking about tonight are very important. So that is where we're going to start. I also have show and tell. Are you guys interested in show and tell? I have a couple of things from Tucson now that we've been unpacking I thought you'd like to see. So if you're open to show and tell and you want to see some cool pieces. Do you remember the mystery inclusion generators that I had? I had some a week or so ago, and then I had some last year from Tucson. Do you remember? They had like a net material in them. Do you remember seeing that? It's hard to see in my camera here, but there's like a netting in it. This man at Tucson made a wand out of one of them for me, and I thought that was pretty spectacular, so I wanted to show you that. So on the bottom is Diamantina quartz from Brazil, which is characterized by these long, thin points. And when you strike Diamantina with any other quartz, it usually makes kind of a clinking sound that's different from other quartz. And that's how you tell if it's Diamantina or not. And then it has the inclusion on the top and then aragonite in the middle, which is for peace and organization. So this is a beautifully double terminated wand, but I chose it because he made it with one of our mystery generators, which I thought was really, really cool. I'll show you another wand that this man makes. His stuff is pretty incredible. Check this one out. So he took the Aura black kyanite that you've seen in my shop before and then affixed it. He makes these beautiful, I mean, this is all hand done, a beautiful silver, beautiful Kuan Yin in the quartz there, and then he took the rainbow titanium quartz cluster and used that for the top with a labradorite cabochon there. Isn't that cool? Just kind of pulling back so you can see that one. And then the last one of his that I wanted to show you, this is a wand for extracting and removing unwanted energy. So this has shungite here at the bottom. This is a single terminated point, beautiful dragon right here. At first I thought it was Isis, and then I realized it was a dragon. Then he put covalite here, onyx, and then a shungite sphere. Isn't that cool? I just love seeing how artists create their work. So next year at Tucson, I'm going to have him bring a few wands for me that I can bring to the shop. His pieces are so limited that it's hard to get them, but I thought you would really enjoy seeing those. So this year I was like, you know, I think if I bring a few for the shop, customers would really like that. Stephanie said she almost fell on the floor. Artists, you know, it's like, and it's so inspiring too, because, you know, I could never make something like this. This is not what I do, but I love seeing someone else do it. I love seeing someone else come up with the idea of like, oh, taking the rainbow kyanite and thinking about how it balances with the titanium quartz. I just love seeing artists take their craft and their skill to these beautiful levels. So I wanted to show you all of that. The other thing I wanted to show you, if there's enough light really for you to see before we get started, because people have been asking about trigonics and record keepers. I wanted to show you this piece. And if I hold it in the right light, you should be able to see the triangles on the face of this one. Let me see if I can get it there. If not, I'll post pictures. But I think I might be able to get it to an angle for you where you can see. Because there's a really cool story. Do you see some of them on there? They're like little, they look like shadows of triangles. Let me see if I can turn it in a way that you can really see well. Might be able to see them there. Do you see? Do you see right here how they look like etchings of triangles? Do you see that? This is a trigonic. So those are etchings on the stone. So here's a cool story about this. So when I went to Tucson last year, my favorite gemstone vendor from Brazil said, oh my God, I brought something for you. And she said, I knew you would want it. So this is actually the exact record keeper crystal that Judy Hall wrote about in her book, The Crystal Bible, when she wrote her section on trigonics. So it was really a cool thing for me too, because that woman is friends with Judy Hall, and then she saved this crystal after Judy Hall wrote about it, and I took it home that year after Tucson. So apparently this quartz piece has the most trigonics of any quartz piece in the world, at least according to people who talk about trigonics. So I thought you'd like to see that. So what are trigonics? You know, if you wanted me to do a session on important markings in your crystals, I'd be happy to do a whole bonus session on that. I call trigonics the extraterrestrial track marks, because what I think they are is sort of, it's almost like the crystal becomes a landing strip, because those markings, they come at an angle. Those were not made top down. The trigonic markings are made at an angle, almost like something came in and was landing on that crystal and forcing those triangular shapes as it landed and pushed through. And it's same with the trigonic sapphires. It's the same with the trigonic rubies. Any of the stones that have the raised triangular effect. While I have you in my office here, here's another trigonic that I can show you. Let me see if I have good light to show you this one. It's right here. I can feel it with my finger. If I can't get good lighting to show you, do you see where the arrow is? I left his taped arrow on there. This is actually a trigonic Herkimer, but I'm not sure. And here's another one here. Let me see if I can show you this one. It's right where the arrow is pointing, but it's hard to see unless the light hits it just at the right angle. If I can't get it, I'll post pictures for you. But it even happens in Herkimer diamonds. In fact, one of our customers who bought one of our Herkimer diamonds from last week, do you remember these that were in the shop? One of our customers found a record keeper on her Herkimer, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's exceedingly rare, so that's really special too. Nicole has a citrine trigonic. So here's what's really cool. By and large, the only stones that we've found the trigonics on, at least according to me and Stephanie Hibiscus Moon, because we've talked about this, we talked about it at Tucson, she and I have seen them on clear quartz, rose quartz, citrine and amethyst, as well as ruby and sapphire. So we've seen it in the corundum family and the quartz family. She and I have not seen trigonics outside of those three mineral families. So the quartz family exhibits them, which of course the smoky, the rose, those are all very, you know, amethyst is also a quartz material, and then the corundum material with the ruby and sapphire are the other two that we've seen it. Isn't that fun? So I wanted you to see. I will take pictures with a high res, like an H or a DSLR later, because I think with the high resolution you'll really be able to see, and then you'll be able to identify it in your own stones. There is nothing better than when you learn about some awesome formation, and then you start digging through your crystals and you realize you have one. Those are those moments when we all run around and jump up and down and go, oh my God, I have a trigonic. Yeah, so Susie's asking about what a record keeper means. And so record keepers, what we call record keepers, are the trigonics, or these triangular formations that are raised on the surface of our crystals. And a lot of us refer to them as track marks. We think of it as these track marks that other civilizations left when they made contact with these stones. What we aren't sure about, like what Stephanie and I have talked about, is why is it only showing up in quartz material and then corundum? It's interesting, right? Like, why is it not showing up in others? And it may be that we just haven't seen it yet. Maybe there's a ton of record keeper angelite, but we just haven't seen it. Or maybe there's a ton of record keeper, you know, spinel. And spinel is interesting because spinel actually does exhibit the triangles. So we're going to talk about spinel tonight as one of your cubic stones. But it forms in the octahedrons. And so sometimes people will see formations on their spinel that they think are record keepers, but they're not. It's actually the octahedron that makes it look like it's forming in the rectangular pattern. So this is one of the stones we're going to talk about tonight. Well, Jessica says she's attracted to them. I'll tell you the reason I think you're probably attracted to them is it does have some sort of encryption. And when we unpack the rest of Tucson in a week or two, I will show you. There's a new form of rutile. If you saw me with the videos when I was in Tucson, there's a new form of rutile that's growing, and it's growing like this in a crisscross. And people are saying that it's an encrypted code, you know, that we have to go through and decode, and that it's for those of us who are supposed to be ascending spiritually during this time, that there's encrypted code in those stones that we're supposed to see now, because it's a new discovery this year in Brazil, which is really exciting for all of us. Yeah, it might be. I mean, Emily's saying maybe they just use this type of crystal more than other. I will tell you that ruby and sapphire and quartz have a higher, purer vibration and resonance and a frequency than a lot of other crystals do. So I guess if I was going to choose a crystal to, you know, to encrypt with some good wisdom, I would probably choose quartz and sapphire and ruby too. Okay, so let's talk about some of these stones that we have for our bonus session. Let's actually begin with the metal, shall we? Let's begin with silver. Does everybody have your silver? This is what I sent you. It's a little vial full of natural silver. You can find silver. You know, this little vial has lots of little sheets in it that look just like that. And that's hard with the sun. I'm actually going to pull the shade down so I can show you things a little more clearly. Bear with me for just a second. That's a lot better. You should be able to see much better now. So that is silver. Doesn't look like much, but silver is actually really, really important. And I want to talk about silver and gold tonight because I want to talk about jewelry with you. You know how Michelle says she has silver from New Mexico, which is some of the most beautiful. Anything from New Mexico, by the way, is special because New Mexico is a vortex. So there's just such a special, pure, true, you know, like a very authentic vibration in New Mexico for me personally. It's a sacred space, it's sacred land, and the whole vibration there is so intense. So I think anything you have from New Mexico is probably more special than anything you would get anywhere else in the world. So let's talk about silver and gold. So your jewelry is very important. I'm wearing both metals, and I will tell you this, any day that you look at me and the jewelry that I'm wearing, you will never find me wearing just silver or just gold. And at a minimum, there's one ring I never take off, which is my thumb ring. And it's braided silver and gold. It's 18 karat gold and sterling silver. And I'll tell you why. And this is just me, so take this for what it's worth, but I want to inspire you a little bit. One of my earliest teachers told me that it is always important to wear both silver and gold because silver is the divine feminine, the chalice, okay? And gold is the divine masculine. And the combination of them is very, very important. And metals have a specific frequency, a specific density, and they interact with your energy in very interesting ways. So did you know that silver conducts heat better than any other metal? And did you know that copper conducts energy better than any other metal? And gold is actually the foundation of all creation. I mean, really, alchemists feel that gold is the most prized material ever known to man, ever created. So when you wear all three, I don't always wear copper, but I always wear silver and gold. When you at least wear silver and gold together, you are not only allowing your body to manage its own levels of heat, you're balancing the divine feminine and masculine, and then when you wear gold, you're honoring the sun. So you're balancing the moon and the sun. So I love that, and I've always worn both. And it's funny because when I was growing up, people would say, oh, do you wear silver or do you wear gold? But it was like always people wore one or the other. Have you noticed that? People are like, oh, I'm a silver girl, or oh, I'm a gold girl. So in my experience, silver is different than white gold. Gold is still gold. You know, white gold is really yellow gold that is coated in rhodium, which is a very similar metal to platinum. So gold is gold. Silver is silver, so it has different metaphysical properties. White gold, of course, looks like silver, but it doesn't have the same specific properties. So, and I'm telling you all this because, you know, I try to make the classes what I would want, and for so long, people talked about crystals to me, but they never talked about the metals. And I always thought, gosh, isn't it important when you wear jewelry to be thinking about not just what color goes with your outfit, but what's the energy of the stone, and then how do you connect the energy of the stone to the energy of the metal? So the necklaces I never take off. This is my citrine, never comes off. This is quartz that almost never comes off. And then this is a relatively new piece that I purchased in Tucson, and I'm wearing it on silver. Then I wear silver and gold together with another silver thumb ring, and then usually my other rings are a combination of white gold with my wedding jewelry, and then silver and gold with my more metaphysical jewelry. So I would tell you, from a metaphysical perspective, combine them. I think having the best of both is really, really cool. And so I want to kind of get us unstuck from that, like, oh, are you a silver girl or oh, you're a gold girl? I think you should be a both girl. And you don't have to have, like, it doesn't have to be 100% pure 14 karat. You know, if you find a beautiful necklace that you love and it's a gold overlay, that's okay. It still has all the properties of gold. And in fact, a lot of your overlay material is copper with gold over it or sterling silver with gold over it. And what's really cool about that is you're getting the best of both, probably for a lower price point too. So I just want to encourage you to think about that. Oh, Tammy has the same necklace I do. Isn't that cool? It's an inspired cut by Marcel Vogel, who of course is the father of our Vogel cut crystals and gemstones that we love so much. And it's the Magician cut, which represents the 4 directions. There's so much I want to teach you, and I'm going to sort of pace myself over the course of the year, because not only do I want you to be thinking about metals in addition to gemstones, I want you to be thinking about sacred shapes. You know, there are certain shapes of jewelry that you can wear that create portals, really important energetic doorways. And very few people know about these things. It's been the subject of a lot of research that I've been doing over the last 6 months to a year, because I really have been finding that when you start to research stargates and portals and these places that are between our realm of consciousness and the next realm of consciousness, there are shapes that you can use, and you can grid your stones in those shapes, you can wear jewelry in those shapes, and it really does activate a lot of that energy in an intense way. But again, this is digging beneath the levels and the layers to go way beyond gemstones to shapes and metals and cuts and colors and things that you should think about beyond just the metaphysical properties of your stones. I know, right? Well, and it's funny, Carol says she's finding she's attracted to triangles. Let me tell you something, Carol. The first inkling I had that I was really attracted to these portal shapes was the triangle. And then the further my research went, I realized, okay, the triangle is the centerpiece of alchemy. In the alchemical tradition, they recognize the triangle with a square inside and a circle inside, and the more you dig, you realize it's all sacred geometry. But so much of alchemy and the transformation of base metals to gold and soul alchemy, you know, transforming your own soul and healing and clearing your past and releasing karmic debt, is related to that triangle. It's actually a very sacred shape. And ovals and teardrops. And so the more you guys start to explore, why am I drawn to this shape? And one of the really fun things you can do too is you can go on Amazon and you can look up encyclopedias of symbols and just get a used copy. I mean, when you're buying reference books, you don't need to buy a new book. You know what I mean? Most likely the encyclopedia of symbols that would be published today is the exact same thing that would be published 30 years ago. So go on Amazon and get yourself a good encyclopedia of symbols and start doing your research. The more you look, the more you're going to find. And then you're going to get really inspired. And then it's going to, you know, open you to a whole new level of study. Okay, so silver, let's talk about silver. This is real deal. This is pure silver in your little jar. My kids were enamored with these. They were like, oh my God, is that real gold? Is that real silver? And I kept saying, that is real. That's the real deal right there in that little jar. Isn't that fun? Okay, so silver largely now, in terms of where silver comes from, is Peru, Bolivia, and Mexico. And I still think Mexican silver is the best of the best of the best. When I look at my silver jewelry, the pieces that I really love are almost always made in Mexico. And I think part of it is there's a purity to the silver there. I also just love anything that comes from Mexico, because I feel like the country has a very unique history and energy and magic to it. So anytime I can get something in Mexico, I try. A lot of my favorite stones are from Mexico too. I love calcite, I love apatite, and I love obsidian. And those are the three primary gemstone families that we find in Mexico, in addition to some other bits and pieces of things like, there's certain kinds of amethyst, like Veracruz amethyst, that is only mined in Veracruz, Mexico. Okay, so a lot of your silver comes from there. Silver is aligned to sun sign Cancer. Do I have any Cancers live with me tonight? So if you're a Cancer, and here's why, what did I just tell you? Silver is the metal of the moon, and gold is the metal of the sun. And so if you're a Cancer, your natal planet is the moon. That is your home planet. And so you're obviously going to love silver more. Usually, if you're a water sign, you're going to love silver more. If you're a fire sign or an earth sign, you tend to love gold more. But again, that's kind of a stereotype. And like I said, I'm a fire sign all the way, but I really love to mix my metals. So I think it's a personal preference. Now here's what's interesting. I want to talk to you about feng shui and the metal element. So feng shui is really the science of improving energy flow in your spaces. And I'm talking a lot about it this year, especially if you're in the Magical Sabbatical program. You've heard me talk about this, but it's really important for you to think about the balance of the elements in your home, and feng shui includes metal. And it's also important for you to think about where in your home, if you want to increase more of one of the elements over another. Like let's say you need more metal in your life. How would you know? Okay, so this is like I'm giving you Athena's version of a pop quiz of like, do you need more feng shui metal in your life? So here are some questions for you to think about. Are you ready? You don't have to write this down, but just like think about yourself for a minute. Do you feel like you need more clarity in your life? Do you feel confused? Do you feel stuck? Or do you feel like you're not making progress? That's the first question. Do you feel like you need more clarity? I'm so glad you guys are loving this. To me, this is fun, right? Because it's like it's blending everything together and then teaching you how to do things or why you're feeling called to certain things. So do you feel like you need more clarity? Do you feel like you need more ease? Does life feel difficult or hard for you? Do you feel like you need more ease? Do you feel like you want the energy in your home to be more crisp and clear? Maybe you feel like things are stuck or confusing, or people are arguing too much, or there's a lack of progress. Like maybe there's somebody in your home who wants to find a new job but hasn't been able to, or something like that. Do you want the energies to be more crisp? Do you want to experience more discipline? This is a hard question, but if you think about it, you know the answer. Like, are you kind of wanting to not be tougher on yourself, but are you looking to stick to a plan, I guess would be the right question. Are you looking to stick to a plan? And do you want to feel more productive? Do you feel like you're not doing enough during the day or not getting enough done? That's another question. If you answered yes to any of these questions, then that would mean in feng shui terms that you need to incorporate more metal into your home and into your space and onto your body. So if you answered yes to any of those, I would encourage you to look on your body right now and maybe think about how you can incorporate more rings or more bracelets or another necklace, maybe a pair of earrings. But I would recommend that you consider silver, which is going to activate all of these energies for you. Okay, now if you want to incorporate more of the metal element into your home, anything in the metallic colors should go in the west or northwest of your home. So think about, orient yourself from your front door, okay? Think about where west, northwest is. I live near the Pacific Ocean, so that's always due west for me. And then anything there, here's the how, Melanie, is just asking the right question. Here's how you do it. Anything white or gray, so you could get a new couch, or you could, I there's a siren. You could, if you have a little couch or a chair there, you could put some white or gray pillows, or maybe a gray throw. You could incorporate something metal, a metal bowl, for example. Or you could, there's lots of different ways you can do it. A little metal dish with some crystals in it, because quartz is going to amplify the energy. So a little, you know, a pewter bowl or a silver bowl, something like that would be really good. Again, west, northwest corner of your home is where you want to incorporate more of the metal element. Does that make sense? Is that fun? Yeah, oh, absolutely. Oh, that's a great suggestion. Jessica's saying photos, graphics, frames. Yes, take a picture. Even if, you know, just a beautiful picture. It doesn't have to be a personal picture. I love to incorporate pictures of Buddha or Kuan Yin in my home and put it in a beautiful silver tone frame and put that in the west, northwest corner of your home. That's how you're going to be incorporating more of the metal element. If you have this, you could actually make a metal element altar in your home. And did you know that incorporating more metals into your home is thought to bring prosperity and financial well-being? And in fact, a lot of Eastern cultures really believe that anytime you have the chance to put the element of metal into your home, and specifically the color gold, if you can put like handles for cabinets and drawers, if you can make those gold, and it's not like the most kind of hip color right now in home decor and home design, but if you go into the homes of people who study feng shui, they have a lot of gold door handles, gold, you know, doorknobs, gold fixtures, all kinds of things like that to bring in the prosperity. It's fun, right? Okay, so now silver. Here's some metaphysical properties of silver. And again, think about your jewelry that you're wearing. I always have at least one ring on that's silver, and usually at least one necklace. Metaphysical properties. It's reflective, and it's going to reflect to you not only the things about you that are fantastic right now, but also your areas of challenge and development. So anytime you're working with silver, it's going to reflect back to you what you need to work on right now. Yeah, Karen says, can you overcompensate? I'm a metalsmith and I have a lot of silver in my studio. I would love to come see your studio. You can, but you know, so if you have, that's the cool thing with feng shui. So you might, if you're like overcompensating on the metal element side, you may want to incorporate more wood, or you may want to incorporate more water, and that will help to balance out the feng shui in your home. And there's easy ways to do that. Bringing in some kind of a water feature, bringing in live plants can help to balance out some of that using wood furniture. And you certainly can use stones too. Stones that qualify as metal element stones include hematite. Galena counts as a metal element stone. And so there are stones, if they're in the chalcopyrite is a stone that counts as a metal element stone in feng shui. So this is a great, you know, I'm trying to give you like 100 different options because you don't have to do much. The main thing to tell you if you're going to try and modify feng shui in your home is just make it easy and start with what you have. Like maybe you already have a silver picture frame that's just sitting in a drawer that you're not using. Or maybe you already have a piece of pyrite or chalcopyrite or galena or hematite that you're not using. And think about how you can incorporate those. It almost gives you an excuse to repurpose things that you're not using right now, and I love that too, actually. And Kristen says, for some reason, I'm not always drawn to gold, but when it's black and gold, I love it. Well, but that's good for you to know. And honestly, there's a lot of black gold now. Jewelry designers are using a lot of black gold, which is really just oxidized gold. But go with what you're drawn to. And even if it's black gold, it still has the same metaphysical properties of yellow gold. I love it. It's a great question. Melissa's asking an important question. Yeah. Sorry about the sirens. You know, I went the whole day and the sirens didn't go off once. And then I go live with you guys. I think there's been 3 or 4 sirens in the last 15 minutes. That's a great question. So mica is technically a mineral, Shelley. It's a great question. She's asking you if mica is a metal. Mica is technically a mineral and it has its own metaphysical properties. Stabilizing, transformation, peace, because mica tends to relieve anxiety. So those are really, really good metaphysical properties for that. So try using what you have, do a little bit at a time. You don't have to overdo it or overthink it too much. One of the questions, I think it was Melissa who asked the question about whether, from my perspective, it's ethical to be mining metals and gemstones out of the earth. And what's really funny is I ended up having a whole conversation with Hibiscus Moon about this when I was in Tucson. Because she and I both, you know, she and I have the larger gemstone groups on Facebook, and she and I both get the question a lot of the time, like, hey, what do you think about this? Is it ethical to be mining the crystals out of the earth? Here's my 2 cents, okay? I really, really do believe that the crystals are meant to be here for us to discover and work with, because I think they're a time link to other dimensions, both past, present, and future. The way I see time is that it's not linear. I think every lifetime you ever had is still happening now, and I think your entire future and every lifetime you ever will have is also happening right now. And I think the earth stores her wisdom in the crystals. And I tell you this based on, you know, shamanic journey work that I've done and incredible visionary experiences that I've had. So I believe that. And I believe, and look, not everybody's drawn to crystals. Have you noticed? I don't understand it, but some people are not drawn to them. I think if you're drawn to them, it's because you're here as an advanced being who is meant to be decoding and you know, encrypting these messages, or I should say, you know, unencrypting the messages, you know, being able to read and translate the code to be able to bring these messages back and to improve other people's lives with them. I think that's why, if you're being drawn to them, that's the reason. And there's a million people. For every one of you who's drawn to it, there's a million who aren't. And I think there's a reason for that too, you know? So now here's the thing. I do worry sometimes, you know, when I hear somebody say, look, that thing's almost mined out. You think about Larimar, you think about dioptase. I do worry about it. And I like to make sure that the mining conditions are ethical. And that's why, for me, forming relationships with the people that I buy stones from is super important. Because I need to be able to ask them the question, where was this mined? How were the miners treated? Are they fairly compensated? You know, and I ask those questions because that's important to me. And you know, as with everything else in the world, that your supply chain can sometimes become compromised. And so, especially in some countries where we don't have as much control over the circumstances. So good to see you guys. So Cindy's asking if this is going to be saved, just so you know. So this is recorded and it'll be archived and you can watch it forever and ever and ever. So don't worry. I would love it if you can be here live, but if you can't, don't worry. You'll still be able to come back and watch the recording later. Not fun? Okay, so time flies when you're having fun, guys. I literally could sit here with you all night and just talk about this stuff because to me this is playtime, you know. Yeah, no, Stephanie, it's really true. And you think about, I mean, I'll show you. This is a beautiful piece, my little show and tell situation happening here. Actually, this is a funny one. I hope it doesn't offend anybody, though. This is a couple having some experiences together. It wasn't the piece I meant to show you. This is the piece I meant to show you. So this is dioptase from the Congo region of Africa. This is one of the largest pieces I've ever seen or held in my lifetime. I bought it directly from the man who owns part of the mine in the Congo region, and I did a video with him when I was in Tucson. This will be mined out in our lifetime. It will. And so there are certain stones, and it's so rare, and it's so ancient, and it's so, you know, the deep African stones, especially from this region, the Congo region, has such a history of its own that it pulls at my heart. You know, it's like I can literally feel that stone in my heart, and so it makes me sad to think about the fact that we may mine that one out. But let me tell you something. When I talk to geologist friends of mine, the message is always reassuring, because what they're always telling me is, are you kidding me? Do you know how much is left to be discovered? Every year there are new veins, new pockets, new finds. There were 4 new mines uncovered this year in Brazil alone, which you think of as a heavily mined country. So all of my geology friends, my geologist friends, reassure me. We're okay. But we have to make sure that the conditions are right, I think. It's so good. And if you're drawn to the rare stones, I mean, that's a special thing. I really think so. But again, not everybody is drawn to the rare stones. You know, we all, because this is the world that we love, and we love these crystals so much, we all think that everybody loves them as much as we do. Not everybody's drawn to the rare things. So if you are, I think that says something very special about you. I really believe that. I know. It's a beautiful, miraculous place that we live, that our Creator gave to us. I really believe that. So let's talk about garnet really quick. So let's talk about the fact that it's the, it's one of the birthstones of Sun Sign Capricorn. This is the tumbled that came in your set. This is almandine garnet. Now, almandine garnet comes from certain places in the world, really. Yours is from India. Some of the most beautiful almandine garnet, this is an Indian almandine garnet, comes from India. This is naturally, this is the way that almandine garnet grows. This is just a nicely polished piece. Isn't that beautiful? So almandine garnet is a miracle worker. Are you ready? Almandine garnet. Annie's asking, is silver and gold going to be overbearing in the home if it's for sale? I'm not sure I understand the question. I don't think you can overdo it. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but I think I haven't seen anyone with a home where I felt like they had overdone it with the metals, but not to say it couldn't happen. You can always, with any of the elements, you can take it too far or not have enough. And so it's this constant sort of like delicate dance that you have to do. Aw, it's very special, and I love it. And, you know, and part of what I want to do is I want to inspire you to go back to stones you already have and rediscover them. That's one thing that it really makes me sad when people have stones and they're in drawers. I'm always thinking, like, your crystals want to play with you. They don't want to be stuck in a drawer. They want you to take them out and meditate with them and listen to them and let them take you on a journey. Your stones are meant to work with you. They are tools. That I know for sure. Yes, Pushita, I would consider silver a cooling mineral, cooling metal, for sure. Whereas I would consider gold a heating. Although I will tell you, silver conducts heat even better than gold does. But I would still consider it a cooling metal for sure. Oh, I'm so glad you guys like it. Okay, so garnet is sun sign Capricorn, element of earth, root chakra. This is like the most important root chakra stone, which is why I'm really, really, you know, kind of spotlighting it and highlighting it in this bonus session, because I think there are certain stones you can't be without, and almandine garnet is one of them. I do have faceted ones like this coming to the shop. I'm not sure when. I think it's a week or two from now. So if you've been wanting a pair of the faceted to meditate with, which I highly recommend, you know, if you're having a difficult day, there's literally nothing these garnets can't do. They will anchor you, they will comfort you, they will stabilize you. If you're having lower back pain, sciatic nerve pain, 2 garnets in your hands, close your eyes, roll your shoulders back, tuck your lower back under, and just meditate or lay with them in your palms. You won't believe the difference it makes. And I have sciatic pain issues, so you might try it if you have struggled with that. Okay, on the measure of hardness scale, almandine garnet is a 6.5 to a 7.5, so it's nice and stable for jewelry. If you drop these, they're not going to shatter on you. It's very similar hardness rating to quartz, in fact. Now here's what I want you to know. You know what these are really good for? Weight loss. Not that you need it, but some of us think about those things, and I will tell you, because people always talk about sacral stones for weight loss. I disagree. I think if you're struggling with your weight, that's a root chakra issue, not a sacral chakra issue. Sacral chakra issues are when you're struggling with creativity, like you're feeling like you've got a creative block, or you, and yes, Christine, the garnet in your set is supposed to be tumbled. So this is the garnet in your supplemental set. I'm just showing you this to show you the natural state of almandine garnet so you see what it looks like. Okay, weight loss. If you're struggling with your weight and you are an empath, you need to activate, open, and heal your root chakra. Like number one thing you need to do. So there's 2 things that you can do as an empath for weight loss. One is open and get that root chakra working and alkalinize your body. You probably have an off-balance pH system, and that can also result in weight gain or the inability to lose weight. Like if you're one of those people who are like, I'm not even eating that much and I can't lose weight, you need to work with garnet, some of your root chakra stones, meditate every day, imagine opening that root chakra, send roots down into the earth to really ground and anchor yourself, and then work on getting more of an alkaline diet. Those 2 things are going to help you so much. So that's my 2 cents on that. Sex and power. This is the other thing I want to say about almandine garnet. So a lot, again, people talk about sex at the sacral chakra, and it is. That is our center of creativity and procreativity, and I believe that. But did you know that a lot of your sexual desire and your sexual potency is actually located in the root chakra? And again, we as empaths spend all of our time up here thinking about our intuition and, you know, our third eye and our crown chakra and meditation, but we sometimes don't take good care of our root chakra. And that's where our power, sexuality, sense of safety and purpose, all of that is in the root. So that's really important. So other root chakra stones, Natalie, it's a great question. Anything in the brown, black, or gray family is going to be a root stone. So think of black tourmaline, smoky quartz, hematite, even spinel, actually, because it's in the color that I gave you. It's red. This is your spinel. This is root chakra. So I would tell you, if you got this bonus set, you already have really good weight loss tools. Are you ready? So here's what I want you to do. And I want you to try doing it before you go to bed tonight. And then I want you, if you can commit to it, I want you to try to do this every night for at least 2 weeks. Because again, if you do things at least 7 times, it'll become a habit. I want you to lay down before you go to bed, hold your tumbled garnet in one hand and hold your spinel in the other hand. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine sending roots down into the earth from your root chakra, right from your tailbone. Really anchor yourself to send roots down into the earth. And then I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine your body at its perfect weight. How would your arms feel? How would your back feel? How would your legs feel? How would your neck feel? I want you to visualize your body at its perfect weight. I want you to imagine how your body would feel and look, everything as detailed as you can with that vision, and hold those stones. And see if you can fall asleep like that. And it will start, literally, energetically, this starts to put your body on a path to getting back to that homeostasis, that perfect ideal weight, which may not be what you think it is. So for some people, their ideal weight is a healthy weight. It might not be exactly what they want it to be. But you want to get your body back to that. Wherever your body's comfortable and happy, that's where you want your body to be. I promise you, you will get a good night's sleep, because falling asleep in meditation with your crystals is always a good idea. And these are going to make you feel safe and connected. These are also good stones if you're having trouble with bad dreams and nightmares. You know, activating that root chakra can be very, very helpful. Oh, Mary, I wish I could get more of those trigonal sapphires. I will try. That was one of those things, when I saw those in Tucson, there was a scream that you could have heard from across the hotel. So good. So Sheila, I usually will fall asleep like that. And then in the morning, if you remember and if you feel like you need to, you can pull your roots up. But usually I just kind of get up and start to go about my day. For me, because I'm an empath and I spend so much time in my upper chakras, I have to do that rooting thing. And in fact, it's better for me to be over-rooted than it is for me to be flying too high up here. And I also notice, like, you know, for me, I know when I'm too in my upper chakras and not enough in my lower chakras, I gain weight, I can't sleep very well, I'm agitated and irritable. There's all kinds of signs in my body, and I know when that's happening. And then it's like, okay, get that amethyst off, you know, get that quartz off. I need to start working with garnets and rubies and spinel and bring that energy back down into the root. And that's how you start to kind of like learn your ebb and flow. You know, what do I need more of? What do I need less of? And how do you calibrate that? That's all the magic, to me, of crystal healing. And so for spinel, our last but not least for tonight. Can you believe it's already 6 o'clock? Time flies when you're having fun. Trisha, that's a fantastic question, actually. She's asked, how do you know when you're too grounded? I think when you're too grounded, you start longing for a spiritual experience. And this happens to me sometimes too. And in fact, lately I've been very grounded, and I've been like, you know what? I want to fly a little bit. I want to, you know, see more of the visions and feel less anchored. But I'm in really good physical shape right now. And usually that's what happens when I indulge that root chakra and stop spending so much time up here. So then I get back into really good physical shape, and then I kind of unplug from the root and I start indulging the upper chakras more, and then when I go too far that way, I have to sort of bring myself back. So it's a constant dance that, at least for me, it's this constant thing. I know, it goes by so fast. Okay, so let's talk about spinel. Spinel, 7.5 to 8 on the measure of hardness scale. Your pieces come from Madagascar. I'm actually holding my tourmaline, not my spinel. Here's my spinel. Your pieces come from Madagascar. These also can be found in Sri Lanka and Burma, but that's pretty much it. And that's why spinel is so expensive and so rare. Partly it's because you don't find it. You find it in countries where it's extremely difficult to mine. Like Burma, most of the Burmese mines are closed. You can find Madagascar spinel, but it's difficult. And then Sri Lanka, of course, is also a difficult country to mine in. And so these pieces are just treasures. But again, when you look at these and you say, is it a record keeper? Remember that the tetragonal's structure sometimes will look like a triangle. but that's not the crystal structure. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I will try. The spinel is where it gets tricky. I had a really hard time sourcing spinel. So that's why I'll always try to tell you if something's going to be super limited, I'll try to give you a heads up so that you know, but I will try to find it. In these kits, they were mostly red and purple spinel. And I would say 90% red, which is actually the rarest color of all spinel, is that beautiful blood red. So let me tell you about spinel. So sun sign Capricorn, unless it's the blue. The blue spinel, for whatever reason, is more associated with sun sign Cancer and the water element. Capricorn, element of earth, again, root chakra. And here's what's interesting. It's a cubic stone. That's automatically a root chakra formation. So what I've been telling you tonight, how almandine is root chakra and spinel is root chakra, of course they are. They're cubic stones. They're automatically going to fall into that chakra by virtue of their cubic structure. And that's a little way, you know, that you can start to learn the structure without knowing necessarily which stone is which. Do you know what this is good for? Number one thing it's good for? It removes stress and anxiety. They call it the auric vacuum cleaner, spinel. Did you know that? So if there's any junk in your aura, I don't know, negative, low vibrations, maybe you've been sick, maybe you've been around people who've been sick, if you spend a lot of time in hospitals, this will go through and clear out any of that energy from your aura, like a little vacuum cleaner. Isn't that fun? So this would be a good one. You know, if you're a wire wrapper, this would be a great one to wear. You could wear it, make it into a ring, you could wire wrap it, wear it into a bracelet, or just macrame wrap it, you know, just a very simple fabric wrap and wear it, and put it on silver or gold. Chain is what I would recommend, or copper. This would actually be really beautiful wire wrapped into copper, don't you think? I think it would be. Really, really, really pretty. That's so cute. Samantha said her daughter just said, Mom, you need that. Sometimes the little ones know better what we do, what we need than we do. Okay, so Melanie's asking, what else can you use with garnet if you don't have spinel? It's a great question. Ruby. Do you know what great partners ruby and garnet are? It's almost like they're meant to be together. And anytime you use garnet, you can sub ruby. That's the other thing I want you to know. They're so similar in terms of their metaphysical properties, the chakra correspondence that each one of them has, and the ways that we use them. So a beautiful alternative to holding your spinel with your garnet would be a garnet in one hand and a ruby in the other hand, if you have that combination. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, for sure. Keisha, that's a fantastic question. She's asking about hessonite. Here's the thing with hessonite. Hessonite is technically both a sacral and a root chakra stone. And it does not have the cubic crystal structure that the almandine does. However, having said that, you definitely could use it as a combination with the almandine. Did you know the hessonite garnet? Here's the really cool thing about hessonite. Hessonite garnet brings financial prosperity. Really powerfully, too. In India, it's called the Gomed, and there's a whole narrative about using the Gomed. And in India, they say that you have to have at least a 2-carat hessonite garnet to benefit from the prosperity energies of it. So I don't know what your experiences have been, but that's the legend. Yeah, ruby zoisite too, for sure. You know, zoisite, the green in the ruby zoisite is a heart chakra stone. But the red, of course, is root chakra. So when you have ruby zoisite together, you're activating both the heart and the root, which I love too. I love that so much. So good. So let's kind of recap what what we've been talking about tonight, and then I have a little surprise for you. So we're going to do my giveaway. What did I do with my necklace giveaway? Here it is. We're going to do the giveaway. And then I did a little surprise discount code for you guys, because you guys have been asking, what's the code? Is there a code? There isn't for the public right now, but for you, I'm going to do GemWise 15 for 15% off, but only until tomorrow at midnight. So that's for anything you want. My request is don't share that code, because I'm not giving that code to Arrow Magic. I'm not giving it to anyone else online. So please don't share. GemWise 15 is just yours. And that's only if there's something that you wanted, and that just will be through tomorrow at midnight. I'm so glad you guys had fun tonight. By the way, if you do, we have spotted a few record keepers on these Herkimers, and there's a few left. So that's one thing you could consider using your 15% off coupon code for, is one of the Herkimers. Did you know the Herkimer diamonds are all naturally double terminated, and they're the highest vibration quartz on the planet? That's true, and it comes from the US, which is kind of cool. These all come from Herkimer, New York, which I love. Okay, So who is feeling really, really called to this beautiful piece? If you joined me after we started, I was telling the group I bought this for you guys in Tucson because I knew we were doing a bonus session on silver and garnet. And this is a pendant that has a tiger's eye moon face with 2 half moon garnets and then meteorite inlaid. Isn't it stunning? Isn't that beautiful? So I knew one of you would love it. It's marked sterling silver on the back. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So who's feeling called to it? I have a little bit of a sense of who it might belong to. Are you feeling called to it? Isn't that fun? I love doing giveaways. And really it's not, I feel like Spirit sort of works through me to get this to the right place. So it's really not me choosing you. It's, I think it's the divine that works through. Isn't it beautiful? Do you love it? It's so good. I'm so glad you guys love it. So, so, so good. Isn't it beautiful? Ah! Okay, well, I was kind of waiting to see if the person that I was feeling called to for this piece was going to comment, and she did. So Robin McKay, you have been on my mind since I saw this piece, and I was hoping you'd be online tonight. It would really be my pleasure to gift this to you, Robin McKay, with a lot of love. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad. I'm going to put this on a chain for you, Robin, and put it in a box and send it to you. I'll send it out to you tomorrow. And I hope that you will wear it in good health and always know that it comes to you with the blessings of protection and safety and intuition and psychic development, and then all the reflective, beautiful, feminine, goddess, lunar properties of silver. May it be a very special talisman for you with a lot of love. And don't forget, I'm going to be giving away that awesome Gandalf statue in our next GemWise class. I actually have giveaways planned for you from Tucson for at least the next 3 months of our classes. So there's going to be a lot of fun things to look forward to when we get together. Okay, so I'm going to sign off for now. It's actually gotten completely dark here in LA. But it's kind of, it's sexy mood lighting, actually. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys love the bonus sessions, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to do one for you on Lemuria. I'm thinking about doing another one on different types of quartz, different types of faces and facets, and what does it mean if you have a self-healed or a Tao or an Isis. So I'm thinking about that as another bonus session too. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Don't forget, code GemWise15 is 15% off for you only till midnight tomorrow, and please don't share outside the group. It's really just a special treat to you to say thank you for being in this beautiful group and joining me for this fun adventure this year. I love having you with me. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your night. Take care, everybody.